moves made. Look, for different reasons, they're going to have to try and move Obi, and I think they may have to move Emmanuel Quickley, because with this cap situation, as good as Emmanuel was and as great as it is to have that spark plug off the bench, to me and guys I've talked to, the risk of having a guy making 20 million, 25 million a year to be a sixth, seventh man, it just doesn't make sense in your cap anymore. And as I said before, I just think his value right now might be as good as it's ever going to be. He's coming off a great season. He didn't have a great playoffs, but I think coming off a great season, making the low salary this season, a team gets him at a cheap price this year before having to extend him. I think this might be the high point for value for him. So I think when you talk about those guys moving, there'll be minutes for DiVincenzo. And I think the flexibility of some of these guys, as Ian mentioned before, Barrett could get some minutes at the 4. Josh Hart really becomes a backup 4 a lot of the time for this team. Quentin Grimes, because of his defensive switchability and versatility, I think is going to be able to do that. I think that you'll find minutes, and I think as hard as it is to say, give up on a guy who was almost 6th man of the year, there are going to be moves that are going to have to be made for this team right now, and I think we'll see it in the next couple of weeks.
That's a really tough pill to swallow. I don't think that's really the way to go, only because you saw what happened last season. Emmanuel Quickley, when Jalen Brunson went down, he was essentially a starter. He took down the Celtics damn near by himself. So what happens when Jalen Brunson goes down again? Who is going to run the offense? Are we going to be relying on RJ and Julius Randle to run that full time? I think that's a recipe for disaster. So we might save a little ducats right here, right now. But that depth loss, losing a 6th man of the year, a potential guy who plays really good on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, had the best defensive rating in the playoffs, Emmanuel Quickley. I don't know. I just didn't sit well with me just to move him right now. I guess if you're of the belief that this is his ceiling, then yeah, I guess it would make sense. But for me, I don't think this is it for him. I think he can at least sustain it and tweak his game and get marginally better at least. I feel like he can have a repeat next season. And if the time comes where we do need to make a move to get a bigger fish, then I feel like maybe we can move him then. But I think we have to pay him now and then move him later if need be, instead of just getting off of him right now just for anything, just for the sake of saving a little bit of money.
Yeah, I think it's business. It's business decision, and it's, do you want to pay a 6th man, 7th man, 20 million a year, and is he more movable now? And I think that's the decision they've got to make, and that's why they make millions, and we sit here talking to Ian.
Absolutely. Okay, Steve.